minds think alike. Great Minds Podcast. Great minds think alike. Great Minds Podcast. Great minds think alike. Great Minds Podcast. Great minds think alike. Let's rock. You're now tuned into the Great Minds Podcast.
All right, welcome to the Great Minds Podcast. This is Derrick.
This is Vaughn.
We're here for another episode. Thank y'all for joining us.
Or appreciate you guys checking us out.
Yeah. A lot of stuff going on. Some good hoops, music, a lot of different things going on just in sports in general. Football's on the way. So it's a good time, especially NBA playoff stuff. But I want to tap in. We want to tap in today a little bit about transgender athletes, kind of like our thoughts on it, and kind of where it's going, and things like that. So it's an interesting topic. It's a topic that we really didn't have to grow up, being involved with. Like it wasn't
never exist out there.
Yeah, it doesn't really exist during our era. Well, at least not to this extent. So
yeah.
All right. So transgender in sports. What do you think?
It's a tough subject. It's a touchy subject. And I don't even think it's like they're making this subject very political. I don't think it's a political thing, honestly. I think it's just like how you view it. You know what I'm saying? So, I think if it's a female transitioning into a male, it's different as far as the athletic ability, possibly, and strength and things like that. If it's the other way around, a female transitioning into, a male transitioning to a female, that's the ball game is a little dicey right there because the strength is different. Everything is different. So I think the best way to do that, and I'm for transgenders playing sports and doing what they love, especially the kids, but you need to have co-ed sports. So whatever sport it is should be co-ed. So like if it's a basketball league where they're playing basketball, I believe it should be a co-ed league. So guys and girls are playing too, to level out the playing field. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sure if you can do that, but it's kind of like similar with LeBron, right? If LeBron woke up tomorrow and said, I'm done in NBA, I'm gonna transition, I'm gonna go WNBA. Right? Just saying, right?
Nah, I got you.
He's gonna dominate. It was not even gonna be fair.
Yeah, he dominated the NBA.
Exactly. So I think if it's a superior athlete, that's where you're gonna see it more. But if it's not a superior athlete, I think then people won't care as much.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? How you feel about that?
Yeah, I agree. I agree with a lot of it. I think the co-ed, like I've heard people mention, like, do a league for transgender. Like, first of all, there's not enough transgenders, I feel like, and then they have to want to play a sport. Like some of them don't want to play a sport. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And I think a lot of the times, I think people are trying to think of the term for it, transitioning earlier in life, because they had the one dude, I don't know if you remember this, it was a guy that transitioned to a woman. He was like 6'7" playing JUCO.
That's kind of crazy.
She was in like her 50s though. Out there getting
buckets. It's just it's such a great area. So it's like you want equal rights and to be able to do certain things, but certain things scientifically is different, right? So of you in the boxing arena, and I don't care if it's amateur. If you got a male transitioning to a female and he's in the women's heavyweight, he's lacing chicks, that's different. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not the same. So there has to be something that could bat. I think that he or she, whoever's transitioning, if it's co-ed, if he can fight against a male too. You know what I'm saying? Because the strength could be the same.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I think it's like if there's a male that goes transitions to a woman and they play basketball, like they might dominate the game, but when you start talking about like physical, like boxing or UFC or something like that, you talking about like killing people at this point.
Yeah, it changes everything. Yeah,
basketball, all right, you might drop 40, whatever. Like everybody gets to go home safely though.
For real.
You know what I'm saying? So I almost feel like it's kind of it got to depend by the sport kind of, because there was a male that transitioned to a woman and a UFC fighter, and she cracked like three skulls. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? I forgot her
that
name,
that
but
that shouldn't be allowed to happen like that. That's crazy.
right. And then I know there was I think in Texas there was like a male transition to a girl. She was like a, I don't know, 2 or 3 time Texas wrestling state champion. So it's
Yeah,
like you know, I think scientifically it gives them an unfair advantage. Um, but you know, if they're gonna allow them to do it, you know, do your thing, enjoy your life. You know, I'm not here to judge it, what anybody does. I can't
right.
even begin to speak on how people feel in their bodies. Like people judge them like, oh, you know, why don't you just do this? Like, you know, I'm sure it's not an easy thing when you truly feel like, you know, you're living in a different body. So
Yeah,
um
yeah. I definitely think you shouldn't be judged at all with that. But also you got to understand the other side of the coin too. So say if you have you have a daughter that's playing and she's getting dominated, or a physical whatever it may be, and they're getting dominated by a transgender male. I mean transgender female now. That's like they might, you got to understand that they might not be happy about that either. So they
right.
might, petition, we ain't playing. Like it has to be something where you know what's going on. Everyone has to sign that waiver. And I agree, if it's something physical, I know they have like unisex, like co-ed, like judo competition. That's a little different. You know what I'm saying? It's physical, but it's more about holds and grappling and moving. It's not like punching.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So, and you can be a female and you can flip if you know judo, you can flip a 500, 400-pound man. If you're a female,
Yeah.
know what she's doing.
Yeah, it's all about
So
positioning.
yeah, that's different. But if you sitting there boxing and we going 8 rounds, you know what I
You ain't
mean?
making it 8 rounds.
Nah. We better be Layla Ali.
You're right, right. So even that, like Layla Ali would get chipped up by I ain't gonna say his name. You know what I'm talking about? From who?
Oh shit. Yeah, definitely would.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? He probably like, you know, 27 and 26, but you put
27, 26 early.
that's my man though. I want no smoke.
For
Um,
real.
all right, so transitioning. So we had the first active um NFL player to come out gay. Um, and like the response has been good. Like I think the response you hear has to be good. Like no one's gonna come
Yeah.
out
What are you
and
gonna say?
yeah, and no, I know some people are thinking that, you know what I'm saying? Some people probably on the Raiders too, you know what I'm saying? But that's the quickest way to get blackball, or have somebody at your neck early and often. Oh
Yo,
yeah.
you know what was mad funny though? And that was a serious topic, but my man was, you see my man video?
Yeah. Like the
Yo,
IG joint.
yeah, IG joint. My man was sitting there. He was like, "Yeah, I've been thinking about this for a while. I've been meaning to do this. Like, I've been meaning to do it. Just drop the bomb. What do
Yeah.
you mean you mean to do it? You just did it then." Like, it made it seem like he was saying like, "Yo, I'm about to go to the store, pick
Right.
something up." Like, nah, you dropping the bomb. You can't just say that. But
You know what I'm saying? And for him, like, yo, he's been, you know, playing college football, high school football. Now I don't know how long he realized it, but I would imagine at least by high school, you know, he at least had
yeah,
an idea. And it's just a weight lifted off. Um, I don't think he's gonna get blackballed. Again, we kind of spoke about it.
he can't, yo. If he does, we know what it is because he's nice. He can play.
Right.
You
So
know what I'm saying?
it's like with the whole Michael Sam thing. Like Michael Sam, I don't know if he was drafted like in the 6th round, he wasn't drafted or whatever. You know, you could easily say like, yo, he was a guy that wasn't gonna be drafted anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Now I think he got blackballed.
No, I agree with that. But what I'm saying
Yeah.
is, you know, if he was a first round pick and that happened, he'd be like, all right now.
Yo, remember? I think he played for the Big 12. He was like the defensive player of the year though. Like, he
Right.
was something kind of high. I think what flipped him is when he got drafted and they had the party and he had his boyfriend with him. I think everything is all about optics. So I think when they saw that and he was drafted so low, not because of his skill, it was, I think, because of that anyway, they were like, yo, we don't have to give him a chance. This dude's actually a legit NFL player.
Oh, for sure.
Successful, he can play. If he's not injured, he's good. He can help a team out. If you try anything funny with him, people gonna go crazy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and most of those. What's the dude name? What's the dude name that
Which one?
Clark. He's
Ryan Clark.
Ryan Clark. He said something. He was just like, as long as you can play football, that's what the guys in the locker room care about.
Yeah, that's what I care about.
You know what I'm saying? Or that, and you're not bringing a circus to the locker room.
But sometimes you bring a circus down on purpose.
Yeah, man.
Right? Like it's gonna follow him anyway. So a lot of guys probably wouldn't do it, wouldn't say what they really were because of that reason. Because no matter what, it's gonna follow you.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So I mean, good for him. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
Anytime you could do something. I mean, you get a certain point in life, it's just like, yo, I need to live for me, not about like what everybody else is doing. You know what I'm saying? Like regardless, as long as you're not hurting nobody, killing anybody, doing like that, man, I don't really care what you do.
Yeah, nobody really should care, especially now. It's different out there now. People aren't as judgmental as they used to be. They still are, but not like they used to be. Like that couldn't fly 20 years ago.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is sad, but good for him.
Yeah, I think who's the first one to come out? I was like John Amici, right? And then Jason.
But John Amici came out. I think was retired, right?
Yeah. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
In general,
John Amici.
And
John Amici, I believe.
And then Jason Collins.
Yeah, and Jason Collins, he still does his thing on the bench and stuff like that. I'm not sure if he's still. I haven't followed him in a while. I'm not sure if he's still in Golden State or not, but I know he was there for a while.
That's Jaren. That's his brother.
Oh, my bad. Hold up.
You forgot he had a twin?
Nah, I knew he had a twin, but it happens. Yeah, I forgot which one.
Yeah, Jaren's a coach. Jaren, he just left the Warriors. Actually, he's pursuing some head coaching jobs.
All right, my bad, player.
Yeah,
I'm got mixed up, but he in the first time it happened to him.
All right, absolutely, because Jason was definitely better. Jason was better too. So
word up, you got a twin, yo. It happens all the time.
Yeah, it is what it is. Before we get into, because we're gonna rank the top 10 remaining players. Couple things. I was thinking about that tweet from earlier about like LeBron saying that the league is on back. So here's my thing, man. It's just unless it's something that over my head, like unless they like veto the trade behind the scenes or doing like they're trying to conspire. Like, dude, man, it's almost over. You had the longest prime of anybody.
Yeah, that and we know how I feel about that. I'm done with Bron after saying that.
I was like, why are you saying that?
I said, I hope he got hacked. I'm like, I hope he got hacked. Yeah, I hope he got hacked. I hope it wasn't him. And you were like, it's still up there. That's him. But
you don't leave a tweet up a day if you got hacked.
Word up. That shows you his thought process, though. It's not just him. It's just like being coddled, and if it doesn't go his way, like why would somebody try to like so when it's going bad for you, they're trying to ruin you, but when it's going good for you, it's all you.
You dance and doing videos.
Yeah, you dance doing videos and you doing everything, but we know how NBA goes, man. It happens. Some calls get your way, but he had a long run, and I think he knows that the run is over because you always talk about Colin Cowherd, give him mad shout-outs on the show, but he said something that was great about LeBron. Everywhere he goes, the first year he doesn't win.
Yep.
Second year he wins a chip, but he never wins as many you think he's gonna win at that location.
Yeah, Kyle's that dude, man. Kyle's that dude, man.
And then it ends before it's supposed to. You think it's supposed to end, and that's what happens. Like I don't know. I'm surprised that he even did that, man. But I'm not surprised actually. I'm not surprised he did it, but I was surprised when I saw it. It's one thing to think it, but when I see him put it down, and that's the worst thing you have is Twitter, man. That's the worst thing. Those 100 whatever all those characters you can send.
Yeah,
it can change everything, man.
Yep. So with him, I think he's not good with idle time, right? And they say like idle time is the devil's playground. He's so used to being playing so deep in the playoffs, like there's doing like when he's on his championship runs or like long runs in the playoffs, he's not even tweeting a lot of times.
Yeah, it's like zero black or whatever he says it, whatever. Like
playoff,
activation
whatever.
mode, player mode. Yeah.
So it's like Now he's at home. He's like twiddling his thumbs. He don't know what to do with himself. So it's like the first thing was like something like, y'all think my reign is over, but it's back. He didn't say it in those exact words, but it was just kind of like it was something like that. Then he changed his number. And now
Yeah.
it is. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, and people like eat that out. Like, why does like we got a new crop of young players in the league killing it. Won the best playoffs.
I have seen in a long time. Yeah.
Absolutely. Like, I'm locked into every game on the playoffs.
Now, to tell you the truth, I don't think I've ever been this locked into a playoff since I was gonna say early 2000s when Lakers did a three-peat, but it was a time where Lakers was the best team by far. Like, I'm not talking about the Kings, that stuff. The Kings, like when Lakers played the Kings, that was like the finals.
That was the final.
Yeah, but I mean, as far as like every playoff since like the late 90s, man, so I was in high school probably.
Right.
Every team is.
You got all type of stars ascending from Trey to Booker,
Ayton.
You getting all these young stars, and like you want to talk about he changed his number, like that should be like way down. Like nobody wants to hear that, man.
Yo, it's like the Cowboys, yo. Like if something's happening, they'll throw something out. Like Jerry Jones know how to like market himself.
Right.
So it's like don't forget about me. That's what LeBron does. Like it's like don't forget about me, but it's like I don't know, man. Like he's a different type of cat, man. Different type of dude.
Yeah.
Like but whatever.
And
we know what it is, man.
Yeah, and I like a lot of stuff that he does too. Like if you watch LeBron in the shop, like he's dope, crazy down to earth, has like just regular, guy thoughts or whatever the case is. But it's just like stuff like that, it just be like a reach sometimes, man. Like, and again, unless something happened, unless they veto the trade behind the scenes or whatever, like I don't know, like conspiring for you to be done. Like, come on, man.
He said conspire for my reign to end.
Like, come on.
Yeah, he must have been drunk, too much wine.
Yeah, like I don't know what the deal with that is. Unless he's probably still crying because he wanted the season to start later, and that's their way. Like, come on, man. Like
you're 36 years old. Like, what do you expect? Like eventually you're gonna fall off. I'm not saying he fell off. I'm just saying eventually you're gonna go on decline. Everybody. So if you leave with your own terms, or you leave early on your own terms, or go out by injury, or go out as a bum.
Yeah.
Right? What do you want to do? So you want to leave on your own terms? All right, then. Leave now. If you want to just ride it out, you gotta ride it out for real.
Yeah.
So you gotta have the good with the bad. Talking about 10 points a game, 12 points a game, 15 points a game. Yo, this is what it is.
Yeah. Kobe said you'll never see me score 15 a game.
I know. And the funny thing about the Kobe thing, right? Even though, rest in peace, Kobe. But we know Kobe wasn't himself that last year he was playing.
Mm-mm.
But his last game, what did he do? Drop what? Was it 50, 60, right?
61?
61 last game. He said, I'm taking every shot. But I don't care.
But that's how he came in the league. That was like
that's him.
That was like Queen Latifah at the end to set it off. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever. Unload the clip.
Exactly. And he left out the way he wanted to leave. You know what I'm saying? Even though the year he might average like maybe like 19, 20 points a game, I'm not really sure. And it was like, good Kobe, bad Kobe, good Kobe, bad Kobe. That last time you saw him on that court, it was 61. And that was it.
You don't want to be in your last season and you make a three and everybody's going crazy like you the 14th man on the high school bench, right? You don't want to be that dude.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Not that anything's wrong with that, but I mean, like, if you were a great player, like, you don't want to end it like that.
There's something wrong if you're a superstar.
Right.
That's crazy.
All right, so let's go through top 10 players. All right, so here's what I did. I did add, let me see something. I did add a couple of injured people because basically I went because the injured people that I had, I did a balance of like them being injured, so I lowered them a little bit, but also teams wouldn't have been anywhere near where they are without them. So I had to respect that part of it.
Gotcha.
I mean,
we talking about players right now, 4 teams, right?
The last 4 teams.
All right, okay.
So I'm including. I do have Chris Paul and Kawhi on my list. They would both be higher. Yeah. They would both be higher, but they're injured right now. But you got it. Like, neither team is where they are without them. So,
but before you start, I actually did the opposite. So if he wasn't gonna play, or wasn't playing, like Kawhi's not on my list. Okay. I know he's not playing. I looked at it like that. But CP3 is because I know he's coming back.
Oh, all right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of how I did it.
All right. And then once we done after, I want you to tell me what a healthy Kawhi would be. That's fair?
Fair, yeah.
All right, I'm just gonna go and say it now. Healthy Kawhi will be number one. We ain't even gotta talk about it anymore. at least 1A on this list. But,
yeah.
All right, so number 10, I got John Collins from the Hawks.
Yeah,
he's just been putting in work, man. He can hit the three. Rebounds well. He made my list too because did you see the shirt he wore after they eliminated?
Yeah,
that was tough.
He do it down on
the funny thing about that is he had the shirt, but he couldn't have worn it if they didn't win. Like he would have looked stupid. He would have looked crazy with that on. And B would have, of course. And B, he would have came out with like a white
beater,
a white tee with the bacon neck before he wore that.
Word up.
Because MB would have clowned him if he wore that after a loss.
For real.
So yeah, I got John Collins, number 10.
That's my number 10 as well, man. I just like what he plays. I like his energy. He does a little bit of everything, man. You know what I'm saying? So I think, in this playoffs he's showing his worth. He's gonna get a real big payday coming up soon.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely.
But yeah, it's my number 10, man. Pretty much everything you said, spot on.
All right. So number 9 got DeAndre Ayton. DeAndre, and like I feel like the first 2 games of the Clipper series, he's really taken off. I think he was like solid first 2 series. Obviously he plays like a big man. You know what I'm saying? We don't see that a lot. But the good thing about him is he's not like a stiff big post. Like if you need him to switch out on the guard for like 7 or 8 seconds on the shot clock, his length is like long enough to like defend shots. He's great around the rim. He's not going outside of his range, and he's like he can run the floor too. And what he did last night was filthy. But I'm gonna tell you why that play worked though, because the alley-oop plays because Devin Booker set the screen. So
you gotta go with him.
Yeah, because if you go with the oop, then it's like you worry. Like Batum didn't want to leave Booker because he would have gave him like an 8-foot shot in the lane. But that was a great pass by Crowder, man.
It was a perfect play call. Play call, man. Yep. My number 9, Reggie Jackson, man.
Yeah,
I think Bobby Shmurda playing great. Yeah, like the way I know he could do it, but I didn't know he could do it at this level because he was always inconsistent, and then also playing teams that weren't really going far. He had a little run at OKC, then he was at Detroit for those years. Then last year he didn't look the greatest when he came over. So I'm like, damn. But then I'm like, you know what? Paul George wanted him. That's like his man.
Right.
So what he's doing this year, I think he's the main reason why I think the Clippers are going to win. I don't care if they're down 0-2. I think that they're still going to win the series just because of how everything's being played out. So that's my number 9.
I picked them, so I'm gonna ride with it. All right, so I got number 8. I got Drew Holiday. One of the reasons I picked the Bucks to go to the finals was one because there wasn't like that. Giannis is the MVP, number 1 seed, best record in the league, pressure, and I think I think Drew Holiday is a very, very good piece for them. He's 6'4", he could defend, he can shoot, and the nights that Middleton, even though Middleton been balling, the nights that Middleton can't be that number 2 you looking for, he's kind of like a 2B guy. It's not like an official big 3 type of deal, but Drew Holiday is solid, way better than Eric Bledsoe. Huge upgrade.
He plays defense, and he's very smart, man.
And he's
very
like
smart.
A big guard, like 6'4".
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
All right, my number 8 is Terrence Mann. Yeah, I just think this kid is like, he is the third person, even when Kawhi is there. The way he plays, he's 6'5", does everything, and he has tremendous confidence. You know what I'm saying? So that's my number 8, man. I think Terrence Mann is definitely showing out this postseason.
All right. I got Kawhi Leonard 7. Again, with the caveat, he would be number 1 on my list. Just like the way the way he carried them in Game 6 and Game 7 of that
monster
in the Dallas series. And just, I mean, he's Kawhi Leonard. I mean, he defends well, can score. That mid range is money. Can't guard it.
Joe Ingles, he did some dirty stuff, man.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
It's part of the game.
Yeah, it's all part of it. And I'm hoping he can get back, man. So I got Kawhi there.
You're gonna see him in October. Nah.
Yeah, you know him, man. It do get weird, but like, nah, I'm not feeling it.
Nah, I don't feel good. Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I'm not 100%. I'm 98. I ain't playing.
I know. I think he just wanted to get out of San Antonio. That was his thing.
Right, he was sick of Pop. So what we on 7, right?
Yeah.
All right, my 7 is DeAndre Ayton, man. I just think I heard a story about him today, how he dropped in the draft a little bit. People were questioning him in the draft, right?
Yeah, he went number 1.
He went number 1, but people were still questioning him. Not draft, I'm sorry. People were questioning if they should pick him number 1. They were saying something about what was going on in Arizona, but they said, that I think what's the man's name? Ryan Russillo, dude from Ryan Russillo. He was saying that at the time he was coming out, he was talking with a San Antonio Spurs scout. They was like, "Yo, it's no reason why he shouldn't be number 1 pick, because people are questioning his ability on the floor, saying like, yo, can he cover on the pick and roll? Can he switch?" He said his whole job at Arizona was to cover everyone else's mistakes.
Right.
So as a freshman, so he would get beat, but it wasn't really his fault. He's helping everybody out. He's a freshman, so he's like, yo, that's going to transition very well and into the next level. And he's athletic, and he's a real big man, like you say. Like, he's really going to get on the blocks. He's going to drop step. He's going to dunk it on you. He ain't taking threes. Yep. You know what I'm saying? So I think he's like a throwback player. So that's my number 7. He's only going to get better, man. I think 20 and 10 for the rest of his career, barring injury.
Right. Number 6, I got Chris Middleton, who I think is having a huge playoffs, man. I mean, he's really, I mean, since Giannis been struggling for the line, he's really the closer for them. Because he makes his free throws, he can defend, rebounds, assists. And I think he caught a rough break. Well, he caught a rough like, they questioned him a lot. He's looking like a legit number 2. Again, with Drew Holiday there, he can be a number 3 some nights, which is great. But yeah, Chris Middleton's looking like a real all-star. So I got him at number 6.
Yep, Chris Middleton too is my number 6. He's the first G League player to ever make an all-star team. Also, I think he's Milwaukee's best player. Like, I think he's better than Giannis. I think Giannis does a lot of extra things. Like Giannis does, but Giannis ain't gonna get you a bucket all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, Giannis does everything well. He'll rebound, but he doesn't really know his game. Like, he can't shoot that well. His mid-range is he's kind of like he's what Ben Simmons should be. You know what I'm saying? As far as being that big and being able to run around and do things. So I think Chris Middleton is the closer. Chris Middleton,
definitely the closer.
He's the most, I guess you could say, consistent scorer. That he can get. His mid range is sick. Yeah, kind of remind me of like my man DeMar DeRozan's middle. Without the athletic ability, of course, DeMar DeRozan, but as far as like skill set, so that's my number 6, man.
All right, so for number 5, I got Chris Paul. He's just outside of LeBron, I mean, everywhere he goes just gets better. He just gets better. I think he catches a bad break with injuries and stuff like that. He's a little bit of a jerk on the court, but I think Phoenix was a good fit for him because they none of those guys had ever, I mean, outside of Jay Crowder, like, none of those guys have been to the playoffs. So, like, what are you going to say to Chris Paul? You know what I'm saying? They're not going to do anything but listen. He works hard. I mean, the dude say what you want about him. Dude had 37 points without hitting the 3. Like,
yeah, shape mid-range later.
He was out there like Bob Cousy with no 3-point line.
He a black Bob Cousy.
Yeah, so you got to respect that. He's tenacious. He just, I don't know, man. It's just great leadership. Probably one of the better leaders in the game basketball right now. So I got Chris Paul, number 5.
All right, my number 5, I got Trey Young, my number 5, man.
Yep.
Yeah, I just think Trey Young is just like, you can't really always look at the stats with him, because I think sometimes people might go like 5 for 26. It's not that. It's the shots he does hit, and the ones he does take, his handle. He's not the biggest dude. We know that he's small. He's smart. He's crafty. And he's a winner. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of a lot of heart. You can't teach it, and he's not afraid of anything. He's not afraid of the moment. It's never too big for him. You know what I'm saying? So he's definitely my number 5. I think he is catapulting himself to that superstar status. And what he was talking about, the crop of young dudes coming. Yep. I mean younger than 25. Like he's right there. You know what I'm saying? So I put him higher than like a Tatum. I love Tatum to death, but look where I think what Trey does is, I'm not gonna say better, but it's just different than Tatum. But I respect it more. You know what I'm saying? Like just how he does it. Gotcha. So that's my number 5, man.
All right, number 4 got Ice Trey Young. Trigger Trey just gets it done. Everything you said, man. He just he's got heart. He's a smaller guy, so he's always been a smaller guy. So like when you're that size, like you gotta you gotta be great. You gotta have heart. Like Chris Paul played 2 years of JV basketball.
Yeah, you wouldn't think that would happen, right?
Right. So I think part of Chris Paul being a jerk or do whatever, like it's one of those dudes like I got to do whatever I got to do.
It's Napoleon complex. Huh?
Yeah, and like Trey Young, like the worst thing the Knicks did was like start talking trash to him. He loves that. Like he lives for that. Like he was like Reggie, like a young Reggie Miller out there, the way he was just embracing it. So yeah, like you said, like the game Trey shot like 8 for 23 or whatever. He had 19 assists. Like
does a lot. He's learning to play the game. Like he's learning really well how to be a real NBA point guard, man. Yeah. It's only gonna get better.
Right. So I got Trey number 4.
All right, my number 4 is CP3. Just because I know he's coming back, but he's in the playoffs. Again, I think everywhere he goes, he wins, but also he runs thin. So I think he runs thin because of his personality and who he's with. So this is the perfect team for him. So that's why I think Phoenix should actually re-sign him for like a 2-3 year deal and let him in his career there, because he needs to be the elder statesman talking to the young dudes. Right. Like his act doesn't run well with established vets.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so they're like, yo, I'm not dealing with that. Like, get out of here, type of thing. So it's gonna run thin. But with a young team like Phoenix, they look up to him, so he can kind of embrace that and truly lead them, And I think that's dope.
Another thing about Chris Paul, like his game's not based on athleticism. So like what he can do now, he's gonna be able to do in 3 years. He's still gonna have a mid-range. He's not explosive now.
So, yeah, it might just be defense might hurt you a little bit, but you get around that.
There's plenty of guys that can score in the league that can't play defense. They just hide them. You know what I'm saying?
Real.
But I think the intangibles will be there, and he'll be around for a little bit.
Yeah.
I got Giannis number 3. The thing about Giannis, what I like about Giannis, like I've seen LeBron like not go to the hole because he didn't want to get fouled. Giannis never settles for a jump. I mean, he shoots a jump shot, but he never shoots a jump shot. He still drives to the hole. He deals with it. And look, at the end of the day, man, I mean, I'll take a flawed player who can give me 40, 13, and 5 in a game 7 win. Give me that.
True.
You know what I'm saying? And like when you got a guy like Middleton there, and I mean, Kobe was the finisher for Shaq, young Kobe. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing wrong with that. Shaq dominated the first 3.5 quarters, though. You know what I'm saying? So, I give Giannis a lot of respect because, like, especially once they got down 0-2 and people are like, "Here we go again," and
exactly.
You could do a lot worse than Giannis.
Yeah, I have Giannis as my number 3 as well for everything you said, pretty much. The one thing I just want to see from Giannis is I don't know who's in his ear all the time about shooting threes. Like he doesn't have to do that. Like what I'm saying? It's like to the point where it's almost laughable. It's like he gonna hit a couple, then he might miss like 9,
Right.
So it's like you can go to the hole anytime you want. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who's on. Like perfect your mid-range game. Do a little pull-up. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to just take the 3. So I think he's not number 1. I think he's number 2.
I think he's a 1B.
You think he's a 1B? You still give him a 1?
If you could score 40 and 13 in a game 7, yes. I mean,
But
he's
it depends on
averaging.
how you score it though. It's like sometimes stats can be padded, and like they don't show the whole picture.
I don't think stats are padded on good teams. Like if you score a lot in a game and you win, that means a lot. I mean, I can find I used to call this like you look at stats. I used to call them like Keith Van Horn numbers, right? Like Keith Van Horn to have like 11 late in the third. He'll score 6 late in the game. They lose by 30. He's got 17. You be like, yo, he averaged 17 a game. Like, yo, he had 8 garbage points.
Yeah. No, but I'm saying like as far as Giannis, like not padding his stats. I mean, like I should have said more like it's like okay, it's when you score those buckets and how you score them. So like if I'm scoring buckets off of layups, it's different than if it's a guy creating his own shot, right? Like if I'm playing with Chris Paul, all right, Amari Stoudemire. You playing with Steve Nash, you coming down, the ball's right in your lap every time.
He don't have Steve Nash though.
Exactly, we don't have Steve Nash, but the way they play, it's a sprint. They're running. He's running, right? And then he'll go to the stretch where he's taking threes and he ain't scoring.
Right.
You like, yo, why are you doing that? That's what I'm saying. So Giannis is definitely the top 3 player playing right now, but it's just parts of his game. I'm like, yo, like you don't gotta take those threes, man. You don't need it. Like that as much I'm saying.
The reason I call him a 1B is because I think he could be a 1 for 3 quarters. That's why I'm saying that.
Gotcha.
And you get the B when you need somebody else to finish for you. Is that fair?
Gotcha.
Like if you could dominate 3 quarters, but like I don't know that you could be like a true 1 if you.
So so Shaq was a 1B.
Shaq is a different monster though, man.
I'm not, the way you just said though, Shaq dominating with 3 quarters, and here comes Kobe or whoever else to air you out in the 4th.
Well, all right. So maybe I shouldn't say that. Shaq was just Shaq's the exception of the rule.
Yeah. Shaq is different.
Yeah, Shaq is different. But I'm gonna give Giannis a 1B. Yeah,
I mean the top 2, but I want to know who you gonna have 1 and who you gonna have 2.
I got Paul George too. I think. Well, I'm happy for Paul George, man, because I think the whole bubble experience was just terrible for him, and then people were saying he calling him Pandemic P, like just really killed him. But he stepped up, man. You know what I'm saying? Kawhi, they could have easily been eliminated by Utah. I mean, what Kawhi played 1 game? I can't remember.
Against Utah, now he played
first
4.
2. Oh yeah. It was 2-2. It was 2-2.
He got hurt on the 2-2, like late in the 4th quarter. Yeah, free play.
And I like the free throws. The free throws last night, that didn't drop him in my rankings. Like I had him here anyway. With that being said, like you shoot 88% from the line, man. You cannot miss 2.
Yeah,
like, 1, it's like all right.
But it goes back to what I always say about like how I say I don't believe in like the clutch thing. I don't believe in that because I don't think he was afraid to go up there and just missed it because he was like nervous. The first one went in and out. Like it went in and out. Like that's something that can happen like to anybody. Like, and the second one, he tried to overcompensate for the first one and hit the back of the iron.
But that's
you know what I'm saying?
That's nerves, though, in my opinion.
I think it's
because the second one, you like, yo, I cannot miss this one. He like aiming it.
Yeah. Well, look, we'll never know if it's nerves fully because unless you're there and the person that does it comes back to you and say, yo, I was nervous.
That's never gonna happen, though.
That's what I'm saying. It's never gonna happen. So we never gonna fully know if it's nerves. I think it's like muscle memory. I think you go up there if you're at a certain level. If you're a pro, I'm not saying like a high school kid. I'm not saying even a college kid to a certain point. I'm saying if you're a pro, you took 500 free throws a day. Like you're going up there. Okay, you're used to the crowds. That's not a problem. The timing could be a little different. You know, first quarter compared to 4th quarter. Right. But if you're at a certain level. Me, I want to play a part with you. Like, I think if you're like the Paul George level, the I can't say Bron because Bron wouldn't go. Like you know what I'm saying? Like, but like, you know, Bron or even like MJ level. I'm not saying Paul George and Bron like MJ. I'm just saying people of a certain stature in the league, a superstar, quote unquote. Well, I'm take MJ out of it. Say a superstar in the league. I don't think he is nervous ever when it comes to shooting basketball. It's muscle memory.
I think Paul George was.
But why do you think he was nervous when he came down? But prior to that, the last 241, he's going bucket to bucket, hitting pull-up shots, doing all types of things when the game's on the line too.
Yo, I think making a pull-up and like being the only person everybody in the gym's looking at, the whole gym is stopped. Like when you're about to do a pull-up, you can pass the ball. There's other things, like they don't know what you're gonna do. It's like, yo, it's you, 25,000 people screaming. Like that's different than like you dribbling, because they know you're gonna shoot a free throw.
But I think you're looking at it as us.
Right.
Like I think you're looking at it as like take Paul George out, insert me in that situation. You know what I'm saying? Because like we're not, that's foreign terrain to us. That's new.
Right.
He's like, yo, I'm playing in the arena since I was 18 like this, like, or 17. I don't know, however young he was, and playing all types of not conference finals, but big playoff games. Like, yo, he's an 88% free throw shooter. He don't miss free throws. Yo, you know what I'm saying? So it's crazy.
He was either nervous or he has the worst timing in life.
I think it's the worst timing in life, yo.
Bro, that joker was nervous.
I don't know.
Too. Yo, when he missed the first one, I was just like, yeah, I just for him, I just wanted him to make it. I didn't even like. I'm rooting for the Clippers. I didn't even care if like he missed one, made one, and they came down and hit a 3 and won the game. All right, whatever.
Yeah.
And then like I just knew, even with 0.7 left, I'm like, Phoenix got to make something just because Paul George missed. Like, it's just got to happen.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yo, that whole scenario, we can talk about that game in length, but I missed the game. I saw the highlights. I fell asleep. But, and I had a feeling it was going to be a good game, because I woke up in the middle of the night and checked my phone. And even though the score was like, I think I fell asleep in the third quarter, I'm like, yo, it's coming out to the buzzer. Let me check my phone in the middle of the night. And I saw the 1 point. I actually saw the ESPN app show me the play. Like last second alley-oop. I was like, what? And then I saw the play. That's a whole nother story with that, because I personally think a lot of things happened that day that shouldn't have went down. Like it was a blatant, we talk about that later. I'll give a track, but it was a blatant foul by Ayton to get open.
Yeah, that's not getting called though.
It's not getting called, but then like when Butler lost, not Butler, I'm sorry, Booker lost the ball. Like, it's mad stuff that you look at, you like, yo, it could have changed the whole game though. Like I'm not saying one play cost you the game, but it could change the game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just trajectory of the game.
If Paul George even makes one free throw, like you could foul
overtime. You foul him before he fouled him.
Yeah, so it's just like, I don't know. I felt bad for him. Who you got number 2?
Number 2, I actually got Booker. I got Booker at number 2. He's been playing out of his mind, but I just think it's been lulls in the games. If you really watch the games where he have him under control, and I think he's a little emotional at certain times, and I think that by putting Patrick Beverley on him, the series is about to change. Because even last night,
he struggled last night. Yeah, he struggled though,
and we wonder why he struggled. He got the pest on him right there, right now, because he's 6'5" and Beverly's 6'2", but Beverly's blocking his shot. Beverly's doing all types of stuff.
Did you see when Beverly tackled him, man?
Which time? With the nose joint?
Nah, it was like in the first quarter. Like he was trying to it was one of those plays he was trying to stop transition. First of all, the other 3 Clippers were back already, and he literally just tackled him. I'm just like, come on, bro.
Yeah, I love Beverly, man. I love the way he plays, because he's just the perfect, love to play with him, hate to play against him.
I was gonna say, you don't want him to guard you. You'd be like, all right, bro.
Hell no, you want him.
PJ Tucker.
Yeah, PJ Tucker play football. Yeah, this is crazy. Yeah. But yeah, it's my number 2. But I think what he's doing is great. What he's doing without CP3 is great. But I just think that, as far as I expected him to do this, and to look at the whole team dynamic, I feel that the Clippers are a good team. But I think Phoenix is better all around than the Clippers. Yeah. As far as their personnel, right?
Right.
Especially minus Kawhi.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not surprised that he's playing this well and doing his thing. And CP3 isn't really a scorer. He's more of like that on the floor leader, facilitator. He can score if he wanted him to, but he's not so that's why he's my number 2. So your number 1 gotta be Booker. I know that. So
nah, man, my number 1 is Jay Crowder, man. It's like, nah.
I was about to say he's tweaking.
Now it's Booker, man. I mean, honestly, just watching him play the other night, and like, Stephen A. Smith finally said something that I agree with, but he's the closest thing that we've seen since Kobe. I feel like after
Gotta
watching.
stop that.
No, I'm not saying he is Kobe, but just like the type of shots that he can make. Like, he's a shooter, but he could just make shots from everywhere. He could get to the rack. And then, like, I mean, a lot of people shrink in their first playoffs. And they have a 40-point triple-double, like in a conference final. That's legit, man. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, definitely legit. Legit.
So, and he's a guy that probably averages like 5 boards a game. You know what I'm saying? But to get like 40, 13, and 11. And yeah, man, I in general, just not even Booker, like, I'm happy to see like all the new breed of stars. Like we talked about Trey, we talked about Booker. Greek, I mean, Giannis is not young, but he's a guy that's gonna be around for a long. It's just a whole new crop of stars.
Crop of dudes, man, which is good for the league and good for the basketball fan, man. You get to see different things. Like, like I said, like, people love the Lakers, you love the Celtics, you love Golden State, But I mean, Golden State had that run, but before that, Golden State was kind of trash. We all know that.
Yeah, definitely.
But like, it's good to see new blood in there, and it's been probably the best that I can remember playoffs. You can't say, oh, because LeBron's not here, it's going to drop, or ratings going to drop. Nah, it's not dropping. It's actually going up because more people are interested in seeing like who's the next. You know what I'm saying? So you got these different markets that are going to have a chance to win that never won. That's crazy.
I think the big thing about it too, and I was reading an article about it on ESPN, like they said like it was like the end of the empty stat star. Like, people looked at Trae Young and Booker basically as losers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Prior to this, and that's kind of like the stigma you get, like when you and I'm glad like they both showed improved, because if they got to the playoffs and they flaked, they're like, all right, these are just regular season guys. These are just regular season stats. So I'm glad these guys got an opportunity. And the only person that shrunk in the playoffs that was new was Randall.
Yeah, but Randall, to me,
Randall's a 2.
Really good player, but he's a 2.
Right.
So it's like sky's the limit. Limit's the sky. Limit's the sky for him. Right. There were certain things. So on certain things he can do. So I think he had a lot of added pressure on him that it's not warranted. Even though he was an all-star, but that's not really what he should be doing. You know what I mean? But
he played over his head. He played over his head this year.
You put him with Dame?
Yeah, that'd be a
problem.
Good. Yeah.
All right, my number one, man, PG-13, man. Yo, Paul. Yeah, I've been a Paul George fan for a minute, but I tell you right now, if he got that ball on the string, he start dancing, book it. Like, I don't care. Man. Like, I don't care who's guarding him. You put anybody in front of him, he's pulling up, is going right straight cash. So what he's been doing without Kawhi Leonard has been great. And I think people call him a 2. I call him a 1. I call him a 1B, like you said. Like, I don't think he's a 2. Like, I think he can do what he can do, but
he certainly needs like a Kawhi or somebody to that level to rock with him now.
He needs a supporting cast though, but that's almost anybody though.
Oh yeah,
like,
sure.
You look like KD's a 1, but he's at home right now because he didn't have nobody rocking with him. So it's like you need that. Like some people think about like 2s as like Scottie Pippen, right? Scottie Pippen was great, but he can drop buckets if you need him to facilitate the offense. But Paul George has more scoring ability than Scottie Pippen ever had.
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So it's like, and he plays D. He doesn't do what Scottie does. I mean, they're kind of comparable in certain aspects, but Scottie, man, Scottie's a great. But I think that Paul George was getting a bad rap because of the way he plays, man. Like he's kind of like because he said calls a playoff P too. So, but he's kind of like the Kawhi, where you think he doesn't care. He's very laid back with his style.
Yeah, he's not emotional.
He's not emotional, not boisterous, not yelling all the time. He does sometimes, more than Kawhi, of course. Everyone does more than Kawhi. but he's not like rah, rah, rah. So people think that's soft. Oh, he doesn't really care, but he'll give you 30. And what he's been doing in Kawhi's absence, it's been last 4 games.
4 games. Mm-hmm.
against Utah, killing. Even that's why I think Clippers are going to win, because even though, Phoenix has won and they're playing great, I just feel like, every team got to go through something, right? Phoenix never went through anything yet. You know what I'm saying? So it's never going to be that easy. I hate to sound like that, but even like back in the day, like the Bulls went through their problems. The Lakers went through their problems. Kobe shot the air balls against Utah. Then they lose it. Then all of a sudden, boom, in 2000, when they beat Portland, they was down by 18. Things started changing, but they went through hell to get there.
Right.
I feel like Phoenix hasn't gone anything, but I think Milwaukee's been through hell, and LA's been through hell. Clippers. So those are two teams I see coming out of their respective conferences because they're battle tested. You know what I'm saying?
I think the problem with that is I think last night really hurt, and I think
it's gonna be tough. Yeah.
I think they need Kawhi too. You know what I'm saying? So and I think Phoenix been playing great. So don't get me wrong. They've benefited from guys being down. AD, I don't think they beat the Lakers with AD was playing and healthy.
Probably not. No.
Jamal Murray, I think they beat. I do think they still beat the Nuggets, but it's certainly not a sweep.
About a 6-game series, probably.
Yeah, and I'm not even gonna say anything this series because they ain't have Chris Paul, so I'll give them that.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, they have Chris Paul in the first game, won by 4-3, right? Yeah. And then this last game, won by last second. Once in a lifetime play. Like, that's not gonna happen again. But you know what I'm saying?
Those are the and that's why they surprised me, and that's why I'm impressed. That's a game. Those two games are games that young playoff teams lose mostly.
They should, but at the same time, you're going against a Clippers team who's battle tested, but not everybody is though. So you got Terrence Mann, brand new, Marquise, whatever.
Nah, Marcus.
I'm getting them mixed up all the time. If you're 20, I'll say flip you. Yeah. But Marcus Morris, he's tested, but he's like a number 3 or 4, depending on if you feel like playing that day or he can get a shot. And then who else do you have that's really battle tested? Rondo is, but Rondo, you know what it is. Like, he ain't gonna give you buckets like that. Right. Yeah, who else do you have? So Paul George is the dude that's there, and everybody else he's trying to bring. He's and the way he's playing to me is perfect. Like, he doesn't have to score 40 for them to win.
Right.
All he gotta do is be engaged, grab rebounds, give you 25, make sure everybody else eat. And once he does that, that's when the danger is. So that's why I think they're gonna win in LA, the 2 games in LA, and that game 5 game gonna be the game that's gonna decide what's gonna happen. Because if they lose the game 5, they're gonna lose in 7 games. If they win the game 5, they're gonna win in 6.
Right. All right.
Well, personally,
hope Kawhi get back. So, all right. Yeah, good NBA talk.
Word up, NBA, man. Nothing like it. It's the best. Football coming up soon too. Can't wait for that. It's gonna be
we
crazy season.
Yeah,
crazy season.
So you got anything else?
Nah, man. Let me think. Back to the transgender thing real quick. A soccer player came out as trans. I forgot what she plays for. She plays for the Washington Spirit, I believe. An Asian lady came out that she was trans. So, but she plays in the WMLS.
Mm-hmm.
So who knows how that's going to affect that, right? Like, so that's another thing I meant to bring up early in the convo, but that's kind of, you're going to start seeing a lot of that, man.
Yeah. I guess this would be a test. So
it's a test to see what's up.
Right. All right, y'all. Appreciate y'all tapping in. I would love to hear y'all comments and what you have to say about some of these topics and NBA talk. We'll be covering the NBA until it's done. So
it's done. Let's go Clippers.
All right, you can catch the Great Minds Podcast on Instagram at the Great Minds Podcast, on Twitter at the Great Minds P1. Peace out. Appreciate y'all.
Peace out.
Checking
in
again.
Subscribe.
Yep. Share.
Follow.
All that.
Yeah, all that good stuff.
Great Minds Podcast. Great Minds Think Alike. Great Minds Podcast. Great Minds Think Alike. Great Minds Podcast. Great Minds Think Alike. Let's rock. You're now tuned into the Great Minds Podcast. 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 Derrick and Vaughn, oh boy, like Cam on a song. Culture safe now, thank God. The panic is gone. Time to heal from the pain. Take the bandages off. You gotta win. The stakes are high like a cannabis bomb. Okay, it's game time. Picture with the balls. That's a FaceTime. Great minds spreading faster than a rumor through the grapevine. deserve the merit. All salute him. It's more than just a podcast. Shows like a movie. Vaughn and Derrick, what up? Great minds think alike. It's the Great Minds Podcast. Great minds think alike. It's the Great Minds Podcast. Great minds think alike. It's the Great Minds Podcast. Great minds think alike. You're now tuned into the Great Minds Podcast. You're now tuned into the Great Minds Podcast. You're now tuned into the Great Minds Podcast. You're now tuned into the Great Minds Podcast.